Hey fam, welcome to MIKEroaggress'd. I'm very excited. I've been wanting to have this guy on here for the longest time. I've been watching your stuff for a long time. You have been handing their asses to every nut job out there on both sides, on all the horseshoes. So I'm a Misfit Patriot, but everybody welcome the Misfit Patriot to the
Yeah,
show.
I was very intentional when I named it, just in case there were any, any copycats. And it's funny, there's a girl who's, her name is Misfit Patriot, MS Fit Patriot, and I was like, oh, it's too close. We're gonna have to fight.
I don't know. Are you
But
single? Is she cute?
no, yeah, she's just so funny. No, she just some girl on Instagram. She's a conservative too, and it was just an interesting like accidental finding. I was just scrolling one day and I was like, oh, your name looks like my name. But yeah, so wait, have you
Marry her, she
used?
won't have to change her name.
Yeah, I don't think long-term relationships don't work. I can fucking barely find a girl within 5 mile radius. I'm not going a different state. Um I was looking at your content, just because, and don't take this personal. I didn't watch much of your content,
How
but
dare you?
just based off of your intro there, were you like a walk away, or
Yep.
did I
I was
catch
I
that?
was one of
Okay,
the OG walkaways.
okay, so yeah, and that's something that I'm hoping that my content and some of the things that I'm doing online is trying to inspire. There has to be a second walk away movement from the left. And there also has to be sort of not a walk away, but we have to push out the bad actors on the right, because they're
Amen.
just they're trying to rise up. We call them the woke right. You can call them the dissident right. You can call them the far right. Fuck, you just call them Jew hating people. I don't know, but you can call them anything you want. There's this faction of the right wing that has sort of like, it's starting to become a problem. And I was just looking at this Megyn Kelly response to some 300, like under 300 account. And I was like, oh, I said this was going to happen a few days ago. What's going to happen is, if you try to cancel people on the right, if you try to do what the left did, then people on the right aren't going to respond the same way. They're going to double down. And if you tell Megyn Kelly, like, you can't be friends with Tucker Carlson, she's going to be like, I'm just going to be friends with Tucker Carlson now because fuck you.
Yeah.
So it's going to have to be we're going to have to be more careful in how we do this. But I mean, at this point, there's everybody's sort of showing you who they are. And,
Yeah.
as long as the party remains true to its values, I don't think we're going to have a problem.
I don't either. I think that's kind of an important point, is that for me personally, a lot of people with these shitty views and bad ideology, I don't want them banned. I don't want them censors. I want them exposed.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you do a really good job of, exposing these people.
Yeah. I said this so many times. I said, why are you arguing? Like, so there's a difference between trolling and making fun of and validating, right? So like, I don't validate people like Jake Shields and Stu Peters, right? I'm not like, well, Jake, you have a really good point, let me tell you my thoughts on it. I call him retarded, right? I call him retarded. I'm like, you're a fucking retard, like, you're dumb. Ian Carroll, same thing. The other day, I got even a little bit more aggressive than normally. I told Ian Carroll, I go, I will fuck your mom in front of your dad, right? Like, just
Saw that.
because I'm tired. I'm like tired of seeing people go to somebody like Ian Carroll and validate him as if he has a good argument, right? Where you're like, I'm having a serious conversation with an unserious person. Whereas, I mean, not to toot my own horn, you set it up and gave me the compliment. I do a good job of taking myself down to what I believe is their level and just exposing the both of us, right? So I don't care how stupid I look. I have a real job, whatever.
I'm great at looking stupid. I want to back up a sec before we get into stuff. I just want to say hello to all of our beautiful chat friends. Thanks for being here, you guys. Lindsay, Drew, Dylan, B, everybody, Clinton, Sherry, Duke, thanks for being here. Unit, thanks so much for the super chat. The most hetero man on YouTube is back. He says this about me, but I feel like I'm the last person that should be for tonight. Like, clearly
You
it must
have a
mean you.
you have a vibe, and I wasn't gonna say anything, but like, I mean, it's I don't doesn't bother me, but I mean, are you gay or?
I mean, how do you like lose
Okay,
your
okay.
license at a certain point? Is it like
Well, you
a
could be like,
driver's license that if you
so no,
go,
you see,
you're not practicing for long enough,
I
you
think
lose
like
the right to gay?
That guy, Nero
Ugh.
guy. He like said he's like, oh, I'm straight now, and I'm like, I don't think you can like stop
Yeah,
being
me
gay.
too.
I don't think that you can like ungay. I think that once you gayed, you're just gay, and then like you're
Dude,
just non-practicing gay, maybe.
believe me, if you could ungay, I would be the first on that line because
I've never been. Looks great. I catch shit for this all the time.
no, it's
People,
miserable. You would hate
now
it.
people accuse me. People accuse me all the time. They actually try really hard to convince the world that I'm gay. Like they took a picture off of my Facebook where I was really just hungover, and I did a recreation of it the other day just to troll them. But it's just I just look like right. So they were like, obviously there's a guy behind him and he's having sex. It's like no, it's just hungover. Um, but I'm like, it's not an insult because hey, I'd love it if I could split the check or settle any argument with a fist fight. It sounds better. I mean,
You'll never win an argument, dude. Like, think
have you
about it.
dealt
These people are still bitter that like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, Chick-fil-A wasn't sufficiently supportive of gay marriage. These people have held a grudge against a chicken sandwich for a decade.
I say fuck it.
That's what you're dealing with.
At this point, only gay marriage, right? We've done a horrible job with straight stuff. Even though I love women, unfortunately, I'm just attracted to the vagine. But
I would think, I don't know. I hear like I kind of have a running argument with my straight guy friends of who's more insufferable, gay guys or women. I swear it's gay guys, but
Jim Jeffries has a really good bit on his new special where he's like the highest rated divorce is lesbian women. That's because there are two women in that relationship. He's like the second highest is straight couples because there's still one woman in that relationship.
that's why lesbians like beat the shit out of each other.
Oh, they have the highest rate of violence against domestic violence. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Pretty fun. But anyway, so we got that out of the way. You're a gay. You're a gay. We don't have any problems.
I'm kind of out of practice though.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's tragic.
I mean, hey, I'm out of practice straight. If you want to put it that way.
Go team. Yeah, I'm not like a fakey bullshit ex-gay like Milo, which like as much as I joke that I would love to be an ex-gay, if that's what it fucking looks like, I'll pass.
Milo's just an attention whore. He's got some issues. Like I always say, like Milo is just like he's like what happens when you do too much internet. It's like it's literally just like he's too. Candace Owens the same thing, right? Like it's what happens when you do way too much internet. It's like, and I say it like I'm using it in that way as like on purpose, where I'm like, it's almost like if I said, if you do too much heroin, right? Like it's not a social media thing anymore. It's a drug. And it's a drug that people don't realize is a drug. It's like you can become addicted to the dopamine that you get. You can become addicted to the drama, the arguments, and everything like that, which is why I haven't been on the internet I've been on probably maybe a few minutes in the past 3 or 4 days because I had a friend in town. And when I have real life shit going on, I don't do the internet. When I'm bored, I'm doing the internet. So I'm bored a lot, if you haven't noticed. But yeah.
That's the way to do it. No, I really think it's so true what you said, though. It's very true for Candace Owens also, because I used to love her when she first came out. Milo, I used to love him when he first came out. Like, I think he is such a cautionary tale of what ego, narcissism, celebrity does to, and probably many substances, do to a person, because he was somebody that I viewed as being so smart, so funny, had so talented, and like this is what you're using those talents for. This
what happens is you get this like, I mean, I'm not a psychologist or anything. This is just me using my own, view of it. But I mean, I think what happens is you get these people who build this huge following, and then they just have a bunch of like NPC simps like in their DMs all the time. Like, I love you. You're amazing. I love you. You're amazing. And they go, I'm amazing. People love me. I'm amazing. People love me. And they start getting a complex, and then they get addicted to it. And then what they do is they start riding the popular wave of whatever is trend. When you become a sensationalist, right? When you're and this applies to people like Benny Johnson. This applies to obviously Candace Owens.
Speaking of the gay community.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, heard those fucking stories. And yeah, but what happens was when you're a sensationalist, you're literally just looking for a bunch of people in your comment section to be like, oh, that was amazing, or oh, you got that one. Whereas if you do it like me, it's way different. You're getting the opposite. You're getting actually just hate all the time, right? And I get hate from both sides because I actually really only call out what I see that I don't agree with, and it's all genuine. It's all 100% genuine. Nothing I do is actually for sensationalism. What I'll do is I'll sensationalize maybe the way I do something. Like I'll do a video like my clapback videos where I'm like yelling a little bit, but the content itself.
I knew you were Italian.
Yeah, the content itself is not sensationalized. It's more just my my personality, I guess.
So what's your origin story with all this? Were you always based, or are you a walk away type, or have your views sort of stayed the same?
So it's funny. I was pretty, non-political pre-Trump. I wasn't left or right. I was just sort of like, I always just had, my opinions about certain things. And then Trump came on scene, right around 2015. And I was like, that's my politics. I didn't even realize that's my politics. That's my politics, right? Because Trump would say something. And this happened with a lot of people. He woke up a generation of people who were apolitical that didn't know what their politics were. They just didn't look at, they thought that politicians were boring, so they didn't watch politics. Like I wouldn't even know what my politics are because nobody was interesting enough for me to pay attention long enough to tell me their politics. So yeah, I jumped on. I don't know. It was somewhere around 2016 ish. I started making Facebook posts, and it was like this, and this, and people were like, "You're super political." I had a friend for 20 years who I would consider like a brother, gay, right? Gay married dude, and he like cut ties with me because Donald Trump won the election. I remember it was literally election night, and he was like, "I don't think we can be friends anymore." And I was like, laughed, and he goes, "No, I'm being serious." And I'm like, "Are you being fucking serious?" And he's like, "Yeah, for the next 4 years, you're just going to be throwing it in my face, and we can't be friends anymore." And I was like, "Wow." So that was one of the first experiences when I realized that people were not only political, but they were willing to ruin friendships over it. It's a 20-year long friendship. I knew the kids since I was in fucking grade school. So
that's crazy. I had the same experience. Every friend I had ever had in my life gone.
It's so weird. Yeah, it's so weird. And seeing that, going back now, I actually can see where you should see that somebody, based off of maybe a political view, you should cut ties with that person. For instance, Charlie Kirk. If I saw one of my friends now making fun of the death of Charlie Kirk, I'd be like, you know what, dude? Let's not hang out anymore. Let's not be friends anymore. But I think that's different. I don't think that's
very deserved.
I don't think that's an equal equivalency of like, I support this politician. I think that's more like, I didn't realize how much of a scumbag you were, where that's like a human life being taken. And you were like, yay, unless it's a terrorist or something. I'm pretty sure if like when Osama bin Laden dies, you go, yay, right? But not fucking Charlie Kirk.
They didn't. You know what's hilarious? So I was a total liberal at the time. And one of the things that I remember, this was years before I woke up to the left. One of the things I remember arguing with all my insufferable liberal friends about was when Osama bin Laden was killed. They were all going on about, oh, it's so terrible. We're better than him and stuff. And I was like, I think they should cut his head off and use it as a soccer ball.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, you're like a conservative just for thinking that. So
yeah,
there might have been some foreshadowing there.
I don't know. I'm 40, so I was around 15 when the Twin Towers came down. That was when you're that age, right? It's like I wasn't political, remember, until I was in my 20s. But I remember being like, like fucking all like pro-America, anti-Islam, like, based in that regard. And that never went away. So I don't think I've ever been on the side of Islam or, terrorists, like being like I think if I was 15 years old and October 7th happened, I would be like a high school kid going, fucking no, fuck your free Palestine protest. I'm on the other side.
It's so crazy because you look back at the sort of era where Trump came out 2016-ish, and being anti-Islam was such a big thing then for people like Milo and Candace Owens and all these people, and it was such a big impetus towards me waking up to the left and walking away from the left. So it's very strange now that so many of these people are now suddenly on the side of radical fundamentalist Islam.
Yeah. Well, it's also, it's like, it's really not that controversial of a thing to be against. And I feel like we're being gaslit by anyone claiming it is, right? So, like, when you say Islam is not compatible with the West, right? That shouldn't be a controversial thing, because you have all of these countries, like in the Middle East, who are pro-Islam, who are anti-American, right? And then you have this one little country called Israel that's like, we love America, right? And for some reason, there's people out there that are like, we don't believe that one, but we believe all the other one. We think that all of the other Muslim countries are lying, and we think Israel's lying, and we think it's actually up is down, left and right, or left is right. And it's just a really strange thing. And it kind of shows how far we've gotten in the indoctrination cycle, where you can have, TikTok promoting the letters from Osama bin Laden, letters to America. And people, there was a whole bunch of people, it was trending where they were like, was he the bad guy? Yes, he was the bad guy.
I forgot about that. These bitches are insane. I really feel like I'm not one of these people who, says everything as a psyop, but I really feel like Jewish derangement syndrome is a psyop, because you look at like Dearborn. I saw a video from New York City the other day of the Muslim call to prayer and all the Palestine, and I'm like, if these people were running things, you would wish Jews were running everything.
So there's a culture that's growing. So we've dealt with cancel culture from the left for fucking years, and now we're having conspiracy culture on the rise, right? Where now, look, acknowledging that psyops exist and being a conspiracy realist, where you think it's a little strange that Tower 7 blew up on its own and we don't have answers for that. That's normal, right? That's normal. Saying the Jews did everything, that's the crazy shit. And you can tell, like, and I've been calling out conspiracy theorists for years, right? Because it's not really a victimless crime, right? If you think about it, conspiracy culture is, I wouldn't say as bad, but it has the same potential to be as damaging to the culture of America as like the indoctrination of the left. Because what is the BLM, all Black Lives Matter, like psyop pushing, right? It's pushing fear mongering and paranoia into a group of people, and it's trying to separate us based off of these groups. Conspiracy theorists do the same thing. They do. They create this paranoia in the populace, where there's a they out there, right? They're the globalists, the deep state, the Jews. Like there's a they out there, and they're controlling every aspect of your life. And you're looking, every time you turn on your phone, they're spying on you. And like there's this, and it's like it creates this like fucking paranoia. And when people are scared, they get violent, they get desperate. They feel like they're being backed into a corner, and you create a potential for domestic terrorism. You create a potential for a radicalization, a cult. You could create so many different things. So I think that we need to do a better job of calling out conspiracy culture, because I think that a lot of people look at it as a guilty pleasure, and they think it's a harmless thing and it's like nothing. But I think that we're getting to a point where we're kind of seeing how ignoring it, where that's gotten us. Right. Because now it's like every fucking thing. The second Charlie Kirk got shot, it was like there was a second shooter. A Jew came out of a tunnel. It wasn't the kid. It was some other guy.
Bees in the trap door.
There were fucking bees. That was like a fucking legitimate thing.
The bees to me? I was not following.
Like Candace was like, did you know that their flag has a beehive on it, and it's not even about bees? It's not about honey. They don't produce honey. It's like, are you fucking retarded? Like, dude, what are we talking about right now? And it's like, but no, but these people, like, if you look in their eyes when they do their videos, they're doing this a lot. And it's like, yo, that's because you're fucked up on dopamine. I'm telling you. And it's like, when I think it was when the movie Sound of Freedom came out, I was I hadn't gone to church in a while. Went to see that movie innocently, just went to see a movie. I saw it looked good. And watched that movie, had myself, like kind of like a come to Jesus moment where I go, oh, go to church, right? Because it was just it was a moving thing. It wasn't so much about the movie as it was what I needed to hear at the time. Went back to church and I make a post about it, and fucking there's the fucking people. There's the fucking people that are like, did you know the fucking Tim Ballard is actually in some type of satanic cult? Did you see the cross that he was wearing? It's actually a cross that Jonathan Romy from the fucking Chosen wore. And he's actually got a skull cup, and he's on Instagram with the skull cup, and that means something. And I'm like, shut up. Shut up.
I can on a certain level get where it comes from, that we've been lied to so much, especially in 2020 with COVID and the lockups and the vaccines and BLM and the election. But so maybe it's a result from that in the last few years that it's gone way the fuck too damn far that people will just believe anything at this point.
Yeah, it really is. It's very strange. It's very strange.
Oh my God, my beautiful Sage. Thank you so much for the super chat, my love. Okay, I'm kind of fangirling here. I'm such a fan of Misfit. He's pure fire on Twitter. A real mensch. Love you, Mikey. I'll come back and watch this right after the Red Sox playoff game is over. My housemates are watching all friggin' football and baseball. Like, I don't know.
Thanks, Sage. Yeah, I was watching that new show, Task. Like, it's about a task force. It's like Mark Ruffalo and Tom Pelfrey. And like, what I think is funny? I think it's like there's also like this like boycott culture that's growing on the right where they're like, oh, Mark Ruffalo's in it, I'm not watching it. I'm like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. Like, yeah, I think Mark Ruffalo is retarded. The character he's playing, I don't care. Like, but at the same token, started watching The Boys and I loved that show, and then they started making it very political, and I was like, like season 3 it started to get political, and I'm like, don't do it, come on, don't ruin this. And they ruined it.
Yeah, I've heard that one went way off the deep end. I'm glad I didn't start watching any of these shows. Like Game of Thrones, I feel like I was ultimately vindicated because I never watched it, and everyone who did was pissed off.
I kind of liked it. I didn't mind it. Game of Thrones, I think I watched it like a few times, and it's one of those shows where it's like you can just, if you've already seen it, you can keep it on in the background. And I'm weird like that. I don't have enough time to get into new things because I'm working and I'm doing this shit. So like a new show is a big deal for me. So like that's why this has been on for, I don't know, 3 weeks, and I just turned it on tonight for the first time. So
which one is that?
The Task. It's not bad so far, but it's not as good as I thought it was going to be. So I'm on like episode 2, and I'm like, it's kind of slow. Yeah, so maybe I'll turn it off.
There are no good shows left.
There really aren't. There are no good shows left. 3 Body Problem just came out on Netflix. That was okay.
3 Body Problem.
3 Body Problem. That's
I wish I had such problems.
Yeah. Well, it's actually it's talking about this. It's actually a reference to like having 2 suns and a planet as 3 bodies, not 3 human bodies. It's not like a threesome. But anyway, I don't know. We got off course there. we got off course.
There's a side quest.
Yeah.
So when did you start noticing like all this shit going nuts? I feel like it's gotten worse, maybe, or more vocal, or maybe we're just more aware of it over the last year or so.
So it's funny. Okay, right after October 7th, I noticed something that didn't look natural, right, on the right. Totally expected it from the left. I expected, like, when you saw, like, in New York City, you saw, like, there was, like, these protests and people were holding up their phones and there was a swastika on their phone. And I'm like, there you go. There's the left. There's the real left. And it creeped up. It creeped up pretty quickly, but it creeped up within just a few months after October 7th. I was like, oh, there's some people on the right that are sort of aligning with the left. And I had already been using the term woke right for a different reason, a different group of people. It was for right-wing TikTokers that engage in cancel culture. So like the right has been coming after me for forever, way before October 7th, way before this, since like 2020, because of just like, little personal, like they didn't like my personality, right? They didn't like my personality. They didn't like how I was, getting so much attention. So they would try to cancel me just like the left, and they would align with leftist creators. And I would end up being like, you guys are woke. You guys are woke, right? You know that, right? Like you're acting woke. You're like Antifa in MAGA hats. Like you're literally like, they were doing some crazy shit, dude. I'm telling you, like my mom, before she passed away, my mom, she wrote a book, a memoir. And in that book, she talked about a sexual assault. One of these right wingers like bought her book and was like reading it and telling people about it. And I'm like, yo, that's weird shit. It's like
Those are
like,
people who've had too much internet.
Exactly. Too much internet. Anyway, fast forward to post October 7th, I saw the same type of behavior, but it was really hyperfixated towards conspiracy culture, the Jews, the fucking Israel controls America thing. And what I always call out, it's like I guess you could call it the theme of my page, and it doesn't matter which side you're on, is if I see that somebody's being dishonest, using dishonest means to push a political narrative, I call it out. Because unlike these people who just call themselves noticers and they're really NPCs that are just repeating whatever their favorite creator said, I actually do notice things. I notice patterns, and I noticed that there was some weird shit going on. So I started calling it out, and then the machine that started attacking me was this. It's just I would say a mixture of Groyper, Nick Fuentes people.
Oh,
Stu
again,
Peters.
speaking of the gay community.
Yes, Jake Shields, also gay community. Like Nick. Have you noticed that like Myron Gaines, Jake Shields, Nick Fuentes, I would say Stu Peters, maybe they all look fucking pretty gay. It's like they're never out. Now I'm not going to say the same thing about Dan Blizzarin or Andrew Tate, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah,
because they are actually with women, but Nick Fuentes, I think, is an admitted virgin. He's never hooked up with a chick, right? Like, I don't see
him and Lindsey Graham just can't find the right woman.
I think Myron Gaines was like he's only been with one girl. I think I don't ever see Jake Shields, get fucking hanging out with chicks. It's like, guys, go out and like if I posted what I did this weekend, there would be no doubt in anyone's mind that I'm straight. Like I was.
Does that mean who you did?
Well, there was a chick that was there was a chick. We were playing some ladder toss, and she was wearing what I would consider dental floss. But it was fun.
Oh.
It was fun. And I don't know. Maybe I'm just not seeing their.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this. I thought this was like the straight guy in the scenario. He did say, like, it's good to fuck the transes.
Oh yeah, Andrew Tate said he said
That's
he'd
like
rather
the straight one. There.
he'd rather bang he'd rather bang a dude that looked like Megan Fox than a woman who looked like Hulk Hogan. And I'm like, that's gay. That's gay. I would rather not bang either of them, but I would rather bang the Hulk Hogan woman, I guess, because
I would take neither.
Well, I would say like the whole dick is the big turnoff for me.
There's like a very small handful of trans men who are like somewhat convincing, and even then, absolutely not for me.
Yeah, what's it?
It's a no for me, dog.
Jim Norton's wife. I saw a picture before I knew, and I was like, I sent it to my buddy. I sent it to my buddy Paulie, and I was like, Jim Norton's wife is hot, and he goes, "That's a dude," and I was like, "No way, no, it isn't." And he goes, "Yeah, it's a dude." And then I Googled it, and I'm like, "Fuck!" It does happen.
I don't think he's even like the most convincing.
Really? Well, it was only one. It was one picture that I saw. Like that's all.
I must
was
have
going
been
off
a
of one
very
picture.
blurry one.
I don't know. Maybe. Let me fucking. Now you got me questioning myself.
Yeah, I was like, wait, I gotta pull this up because I had no idea his situation until I heard him talking about it on some podcast, and he's talking about how they fuck and that.
This is the picture I sent to my buddy, and I was like, oh, his wife's hot, and he goes, "That's a dude," and I was like, no, And then no, it is.
I mean,
But
it's like the
that's gay.
airbags that don't connect, and there's open space, and the
I
man
wasn't
hands.
I wasn't doing it. I wasn't zooming in with a fucking microscope. All right. It's just a glass. I glossed over a picture. I was like, oh, that's Jim Norton with a blonde. That's I thought. That's closest I've gone to being gay was just that moment. It was just by accident. It was by accident.
He is apparently like, I don't know. I
You know,
couldn't take
he's not.
cocaine more than
I
like
saw him on Theo.
a
I saw him
minute.
talking to Theo Vaughn, and he's like, oh no, it's definitely not a. It's not a woman. He's like, no. It's like he's like it's a dick, and I was like, oh, okay, so he's not even shy about it. He's not hiding it.
I don't get the appeal.
I say if you're gonna be gay, just be gay. If you're gonna
Yeah.
be straight, be straight. You know, I don't
No,
know.
dude, it's the weirdest thing. I open any dating at Hinge, Tinder, and you'll see these like good-looking, masculine-looking dudes on there, and you read their profile, only looking for trans women. I don't get it.
So one of the greatest gifts the cancel mob ever gave to me was they got me banned years ago. They got me banned off of dating apps, and I mean all of them, right?
I
Like
was too.
no, they got me on. I don't know how they did it, but they got me on like a blacklist or something. Where I'm like, I can't even go on. Like I tried because like one day my Bumble stopped working, and I was like, okay, and then I reached out, and they were like, yeah, you were banned for like terms of service or something. I was like, okay, that's the cancel mob. So I just was like, all right, download Hinge, and like it wouldn't even let me create a profile. And I was like, all right,
You
that's
got
really
banned without even having a profile?
without even having a profile. So then I was like, and it's like I got curious. I got like I had to investigate this because I was like, this is really weird because I've never been on this. And it turns out they're all under the same umbrella. All of the dating apps are under the same umbrella company.
Really?
So if they can get you banned off of all of them. And I was like, but here, trust me, you didn't take away something that I just loved so much. It was already freaking a nightmare. Because like, you know, when you do the dating apps, from what I remember, you would talk to a girl, like you talk to a girl and it would be like 2-3 days of talking and then just ghost. Or like,
Yeah.
or you'd go out on one date and then ghost. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I think I have way better luck out in public. You know, like I
Yeah,
just
same.
go out in public, and I was out on the Riverwalk, and I got a girl's number. So that was a few days ago. It's easier in person, guys. Trust me.
Yeah. No, I got banned from all the dating apps too, but not at least I offended them.
Oh, you did something? No, I didn't do anything. It was just mass
Well,
report.
the least I did was on Tinder. I posted a picture. So I'd gotten invited to the White House in 2020, and I posted my picture in front of it with like the flag and stuff, banned.
Yeah.
And then Hinge, they make you answer questions in your profile. So one of the questions was so disgusting. It said, "What do you do to connect with the LGBTQ community?" And I answered honestly. I said I stay as far away from them as possible. Banned. But I just got a new phone. So like when you get a new phone, if you get a new phone, you should see if it works. I'm back on them.
I don't care enough. Like that's the thing. It's like when they got me banned off it, I was like, this is the one type of cancel culture I'm all about. Like you guys, please get me banned off of this, and I take it away, and I don't want it. Thank you very much for that part. You're probably doing me a huge favor.
See, I have no luck on them, but like I still want the option. I'm like a bridezilla in the making.
But that's, you know, so they've done this to me. Like the left has come at me pretty hard. You know, they were like, they put like 700 negative business reviews on my Facebook like profile. Like it was just like a tile page that I had, and then they would call me constantly, and they would like, it's like that's leftist cancel culture, right?
Mhm.
But then when I've had the woke right, what I like, the Nick Fuentes, the Groypers, these creepy fucking incels on the right, like I've had them send me some wild shit. Like my mom just passed away in March, and they're like sending me photos. It's all right, I appreciate it. But yeah, they send me like photos of her, and I'm like, yo, the left never even went this far. Like it's like that's the weird part. It's like I think, and then that I think that this is what happens when you turn on your quote your own side, right? They take it even more. There's a more of a visceral reaction because they look at you as more of a traitor, right? Because you're not like, and I think the same way. I think like I expect the left to be disgusting, so I'm not as upset with them when they act disgustingly. But when I see Candace Owens, and when I see people that are voting the same way, the way I see it is, okay, you're not just making yourself look bad. You're making the party look bad by association. So
Yes.
so they should be called out more. And then the left never did this to their own side. And this is why I think that we need to do a better job of calling out, people like Tucker Carlson who are still accepted by a big, swath of the party. Because what happened with the left was they saw the AOCs, they saw the Ilhan Omars, they saw the Rashida Tlaibs, and they said fucking nothing, right? And if we don't call out our own side, the radicals in our party will get more clout and they will grow and they'll become too big to do anything about. And then we're going to be in the same situation where there will be a walkaway movement on the right from moderate, reasonable people, the people that we want to keep. So, so we got we really do have to make sure that is at the forefront, because as of right now, this is our race to lose. The left is doing a fan-fucking-tastic job being the worst ever, right? Like we don't need to call them out right now. Like they are awful, right? I think they're down to like under 20% support. So it's really just the only thing that we need to do right now is clean up our side. I saw somebody in my comment section was like, do you ever call out Democrats, or is it just people in your own party? I'm like, Democrats don't need my help. They're fucking up on their own.
That's true.
They're fucking up on their own.
Tucker Carlson is another one I used to love and respect. Like, so what have these people gone nuts? Do you think it's financial? Were they always this way? I don't understand how so many people have seemed to lost their minds.
I feel like Tucker's I used to be a huge fan of Tucker and Candace. I think the same thing. I think that we had blinders on to them. But when you actually look back and you look at Tucker's prior content, he was always a bit of a fucking kook. He was talking about fucking UFOs and shit. And there's one video where he's like, oh yeah, a demon scratched me while I was in bed with my dogs. And it's like, are you sure it was a fucking demon? Because dogs have these things called nails, Tucker. And he says it with a straight face, and the person he's talking to is like, yeah, that's interesting. I would have been like, are you sure it wasn't your dog? Like, are you sure? It's like,
what's interesting too is people forget, but Tucker has, been on every little corner of the political spectrum. He used to be an MSNBC host, and then for a long time he was this sort of establishment right wing.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's really had every ideology you could possibly have,
and he's flip-flopped on so many issues that he's probably just another one of those, political pundits that goes where the wind blows. And right now, he feels like the wind is blowing in the direction of anti-Israel. So he's just jumping on that. I don't think that Tucker actually believes anything that he's saying. There's this guy, Nathan Livingstone, who he runs Milk Bar TV. And he puts together these amazing super clips, right? I asked him how he did it. I was like, how the fuck do you do that? Because he got a video of Tucker Carlson saying Israel 800 times, right? And I was like, did you go and find 800 clips? He goes, no. He's like, you use the search feature on the video. You put the subtitle feature in, and then you type in the word you're looking for. So he uses these types of these tricks to go and find clips where creators talk about certain subjects. And he puts together these super clips. There's one from Candace Owens that he did, based off of her whole thing, like how she started off with a doxing website and she was a big far leftist, and then she came over to the right, and now she's gone way back into crazy town. I don't know. I don't even know where she is now, because Candace Owens is like, I'm not a flat earther, but I'm also not a round earther. And I'm like, those are the only fucking two kinds.
Let me guess. The Jews want you to think the earth is round.
Apparently. It's like, what's the other fucking option? Hexagon? Like, what are you talking about? So, yeah. So I think that Candace and Tucker and a lot of other people, They are sensationalists that are literally just saying whatever they think is going to get them clicks, and they're probably in their own mind believing a lot of it. But I think that I don't think that there's any genuine behavior. Because to put it this way, if I said something that wasn't true and somebody played it back for me, and I could verify that what I said wasn't true, I've done this many times where I've made a post where I've been like, hey, you know what I said the other day? I fucked up. That's not true. Right.
Mhm.
This happens to Tucker and Candace on a fucking daily basis at this point, and they never make that video. They never make that video where they go, you know what, I was actually mistaken. And I feel like this is also happening with a lot of right-wing commentators, right? Or even like the debate me bros, like the debaters out there, the people that think they'd like win every debate, the InfoWars guys, like all these other people. I always want to ask them, have you ever lost a debate? Dave Smith would be a perfect example, right? I want somebody to ask Dave Smith on camera, do you think that you have ever lost a debate? Because his answer will be no, right? And that the reason why that makes him a disingenuous person is a debate is subjective. Okay. If I do a debate with Dave Smith, my audience says I won. His audience will say he won, right? But it's a debate. There's no actual scoring mechanism, right? In a real debate between two people with a panel of judges, there is, but a YouTube online debate. So these people really do just think so highly of themselves. They think they're never wrong. They think they're right about everything. They have a God complex. They're narcissists. And that's really what's driving a lot of the political commentary now. The new media, and this was I gotta kind of push it on Trump. I gotta blame Trump a little bit for this because he couldn't have known, but he might have been able to know actually with a little bit of common sense. He pushed the new media, right? And it's because it's what got him elected. Podcasters got him elected. So right into his new term, he goes, we're going to do new media. We're going to get away from mainstream media. We're going to go to new media. The problem is new media is a bunch of clout chasing cunts who only care about whether or not they're getting clicks. So they're not going to give you honest news. Like mainstream media is going to lie to you based off of who's putting their commercials on the screen, but they also have to follow a regular bare minimum journalistic practice of verifying sources, and they can't say too many.
Do they though at this point?
No,
like,
but
no, fuck you. Sorry, that is my asshole.
No, you're fine. But yeah, no,
the same beard though.
It's the mainstream media they lie about almost everything, but they have at least the bare minimum journalistic integrity of not saying things that are so blatantly false and out there and crazy that it would cause some type of mass hysteria. Then you have Candace Owens who's talking about how the bees killed Charlie Kirk, right? That's the difference between mainstream media.
I guess I would say the mainstream media is smarter in their lying. They're better manipulators. They're better propagandists.
Yeah, like the craziest shit that mainstream media said was mostly peaceful protests, right? Where it's like, okay, that's a lie. That's bullshit.
I don't know, all the shit they said during COVID and the lockup. Like, for me, I personally view new media as a double-edged sword in that. Although, well, that's what I thought, but now it looks like it's pretty much become a race to the bottom. Like, so for me, I sort of fell into speaking up and doing this. I was sort of dragged into it, kicking and screaming. But when I started speaking up, it seemed like the other people who were, it felt like were truth tellers, were just speaking their mind. And now it feels like anything but. And then you have things like, everyone on X just feels so scripted, and I think monetization has made it where everyone now thinks that they're a commentator. Everyone thinks that they're an influencer, and they all just speak like these fucking publicists.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You said it perfectly, a race to the bottom. It's like they think it's a race to the top. But what they don't realize is they're collectively destroying the credibility of the entire group, which is why you have to sift through about 50 bullshit artists to get to one nugget of truth. I think Bongino, before he got the role at the FBI, was one of the more credible sources. Where you go and you look at his reporting, and he wasn't feeding you a lot of bullshit. Because he would regularly tell you, "Don't take my word for it." Don't trust me. Go verify this for yourself. And when this kind of what I do on my show is I just read the news. I read the news headlines and tell you that it's all bullshit. Right. So it's like, I'm not telling you to believe what I'm reading you. I'm telling you, I'm reading you this headline from Fox News, right? And this is how the media lies to you. So I'm exposing the mainstream media on my daily podcast. I'm exposing the new media on my social media, and I'm trying to hit both sides. And try to, like, honestly, what I'm doing online is I'm fucking literally just putting out a fire every 10 minutes, right? It's like there's just a fire and then another fire and then another fire. And I'm just fucking over here dumping water on it.
You do have a way of pissing off the crazies of both sides.
Well, people don't like it when you put out the fire they started. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They're like, no, I set that fire.
Unit, thank you so much for the super chat, dude. There is the hollow earth theory. I have no idea what that is.
Hollow earth theory, there's actually, I think that I did a little bit of research on this a while ago. It's about the pockets under the Earth's crust where there's enough room for like these titans and giants and larger animals that live under there. Like kind of, I think it was like Godzilla was based off a hollow earth theory where there's like a whole civilization under the Earth's core. I think that's what it is. And but there's a lot of
It's the Jewish tunnels.
no, there's a lot of credibility. I would say that there's a lot of credibility to and I don't even think it's a theory. I think it's kind of proven science that there were giants that lived in a different time on Earth. Because they found skeletons of 12, 14, 15 foot human beings. And so that's real, but whether or not that they were like a species that like really like lived in prevalent species, that's contested. But I the way I see it is, I'm like, how else do you think they built the pyramids? I think it was giants and dinosaurs. So,
I mean, why not if it's Jews and bees?
but that's a fun conspiracy theory. That's a harmless conspiracy theory, right? That's like something that I wouldn't mind seeing somebody talk about. What I think is going on lately, the conspiracy culture is it's a politicized conspiracy that is towards a political agenda to frame the current narratives that we are all listening to. And they're trying to break out of the crazy town and get into mainstream. And it's working, right? Because you have people like Megyn Kelly, who's entertaining these theories about Israel, about Charlie Kirk after he died. It's like, oh, Charlie Kirk was he was turning on Israel, and that's that. And she was also talking about fucking witches. She was like, witches cursed him and his wife, and I'm like, no. You can do one of two things. You can call yourself a journalist, or you can call yourself a fucking conspiracy theorist. You can't do both.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these people just lost their mind. I don't know what else there is to it. What do you think is behind like it? Because I've been surprised over the last year how much influence they've had over people, like how widespread it's become on the left and right, the Hamasos.
Yeah. Well, I think that a lot of it is just exactly what it looks like, which is it's just a bunch of, like Qatar, Iran, Pakistan, China, Russia, the axis of evil, North Korea, all pumping as many bots and as much of a psyop to get Americans fighting each other over this topic or this war. And I think that people are so dumb that they just fall for it. Because I think that it would be absolutely asinine to say that you think that the left, right? The left, you think that Putin tried to rig the 2020 election, right? With all of his resources and bot farms and Russian online influence, but he wouldn't want you guys to support Palestine, right? Like they wouldn't.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do the same thing, right? But with a different goal. And this has been discussed. Yuri Bezmenov was talking about this in the 1980s, how the way that you destroy America is you indoctrinate 2 generations of their youth, right? And at the time in 1985, they didn't have the internet. They didn't know what social media was going to be. So that was going to be through the college institutions. And I think the college institutions have done that over the past 3 decades, where they've indoctrinated the youth to be more, anti-white, anti-capitalist, pro-socialist, pro-communist. We've seen the blue pockets of indoctrination centers, which are in all the major cities. What are in all the major cities? Colleges, right? If you go into the Midwest, right, or even like the South, and you spread out the college institutions even further, you don't have those pockets of liberal indoctrination centers. So I think that's one of the ways. But I think over the past 5-10 years, it's been kicked up into high gear because of TikTok, X, Facebook, Instagram, etc.
I guess I have to read a super chat. Who the fuck is Pod Awful? That I feel like you have some super fans here.
Pod Awful. That sounds familiar.
Who the fuck is Pod Awful?
That's I think that's my stalker. I think that's
I got the vibe. We'll ban them. Sorry, y'all. This is a free speech channel, but not a free stalking channel.
Oh God, yeah. No. Oh, I think I think they're gone. I was just scrolling. I saw a bunch of letters, like the top. So I think.
Sorry, I need mod. Also, thank you, Duke. Yes, sorry, I need to work on mods. I'm gonna figure out how to do that. Sorry.
I think that Pod Awful guy is he's the one that was sending the death threats. They made a video of my building, they tried to dress it up like a music video to get around like the doxing in terms of service. But there was like a whole music video where it was like my full address, and the lyrics were like, "Go to his house with guns and kill him" and shit. And I'm like, dude, that guy, whoever that guy is, he got some fucking issues, right? And I mean, honestly,
because you're not saying free Palestine.
That could be. I don't even know what he is. I don't know if he's a pro-Palestine. I don't know if he's anti-Jew. I know that he's obsessed. But I blocked him on he was calling my phone, and he was spoofing. He would spoof number. Do you know what spoofing is? It's not a sex act.
Where they
So my mom passed away, and fucking 3 weeks later, I got a call from my mom's phone. And I was like, and I have her phone. So I answered it, and I was like, that's crazy. And it was that fucker, or somebody that follows him. I don't know, to be completely honest, but they were like, yeah, I'm so disappointed in you. And I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Too much internet is like fucking brain rot. These people live, they like this person, Pod Awful guy, obsessed with me. I don't think about him at all. Just completely fucking obsessed. I own his whole life, right? Like his whole life revolves around me, but mine is just working and, banging his mom. I don't fucking know.
I've been there with people like that. Like, it's crazy. Once these terminally online people get a hate boner for you, like, they
you know what the funny thing is?
Second of their life to it.
You know what the funny thing is? He fucking knows my address, right? Why not show up? I mean, it's not like, if you're that upset, if I was that upset, I would probably show up. So I'm just saying, like, Pod Awful, if you're still watching, you can just show up. I don't think it's going to work out the way you think it is, right? Because I think you can see what's behind. Well, you can kind of see what's behind me. There's a lot of pew-pews in here. So yeah,
that's why I just want to fuck someone up.
Yeah. I'm not saying you should ever come to my house, because if you do, if you're crazy enough to come to my house, I'm not talking to you, right? I'm not going to talk. I'm going bang, 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 bang. Then I'm going to be like, hello, 911. Crazy person showed up. Come get him.
Yeah, 911, crazy bitch who had it coming.
Yeah. They're not alive anymore, but yeah, no. And then they'll be like, Misfit's inviting people to his house so he can murder them. No, I'm telling you not to come. I'm saying if you were to show up, I would probably end your life.
You're Kamala Harris now. Don't come. Don't come.
Yeah, don't. I'm Donald Trump. I'm gonna come.
Yeah. So is the crux of this all because you're not a Jew hater? That's what they're so bent out of shape about?
Yeah, so it's weird, right? It's like, so when I first started talking about the Israel-Palestine conflict, right? it was short. It was like a day or two after October 7th, and I saw a bunch of people on the right and the left posting anti-Jew shit and pro. They were like kind of like defending Palestine. I saw the Free Palestine shit right away. So I made a video that went pretty viral, and my video basically just said, "Hey guys, whatever happened to September 12th mentality in America, where we were
Yeah.
all unified against radical Islam, and we all agreed that they were a fucking problem." I go, because I'm seeing a bunch of people that seem like they're on their side, and that got millions and millions of views, and the haters started to roll in. So then, like, I wasn't pro Israel, the country. Like, I'm still not necessarily pro Israel, the country. It's another country. I don't care. But I am.
That's interesting.
I'm a Christian, right? I believe in the Abrahamic covenant. I believe that is that those are God's chosen people that live in that country, that live in that land, and I'm always going to take their side over fucking Muslims, like always, and especially over radical Islamists. So if there's a conflict going on in the Holy Land, right, and you have one side Israel and the Jews, and you have another side Muhammad, I'm like, I picked a team. All right, sorry, I picked a team, and I'm sticking with it. There's nothing you can do to ever get me to turn on that fucking team. Sorry. As far as Israel, the country goes, there's a lot of gaslighting that goes on with these people. They're like, "Oh, you're a paid shill for the country of Israel, the nation state, and you think they can do no wrong." And it's like, nah. Oh, now they're doxing me in the comment section. These people, see that people
Sorry, I'm
are
trying
fucking.
to
No, I don't care. They're
get to
fucking
it as quickly as
crazy though.
possible.
These people are fucking
Bitches are
insane.
fucking insane.
That's what I'm saying. So like this pod awful dude is insane. It's an insane person, right?
Holy
I've
shit.
doxed myself because they've doxed me so much. Like I've posted my own address. I've been like, here, like I'll take your power away from you. I 111 Pro Man. I don't care. But
What do they want with your address though?
they are hoping some crazy person actually does show up and I put fucking holes in them. And then they're gonna be like, see, told you Misfit was crazy. They're like, no, I'm not crazy. I have castle doctrine. There's a difference.
Yeah, sorry, I'm on top of getting some mods.
Look
Sorry
at
about
these
this,
fucking
dude.
people. I didn't open the chat until after. Now that I'm seeing it, I'm like, you have some work to do. Just let them talk. I don't care. Let them dox me. It doesn't bother me.
I'm sorry about that. That's like bitches are crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. They want you scared. So like this is cancel culture is really control culture, right? And like I said,
Yeah.
I don't know if these pod awful people are pro Israel or sorry, pro Palestine. I don't know if he's a groiper. I honestly I don't know anything about him. All I know is one day I woke up on the internet and he was like doxing me, and he's just a crazy person. So like I don't care about his political ideology. I don't know anything about him. I'm never going to get as obsessed with him as he is with me.
Which is funny that a lot of people like this consider themselves the dissident right, but this is what it takes to speak views like the ones you're speaking, is getting doxxed and threatened and shit. Like,
well, it's like, I mean, I think that the reason he's doing it is for some type of acknowledgement. So me acknowledging him now, he's getting like a rush. Like he's like, oh my God, I finally got Misfit to say my name online. So it's like a huge compliment to me that that these people are so obsessed. Like where I'm like, I have such control over their lives that they're that obsessed where they were like, I got to put it in your super chat so Misfit sees it. He had to pay, didn't they? They had to pay you money to do that, right?
yeah, thanks for I'll buy a coffee for that. Thanks.
So yeah, so they had to pay you money to get my attention so that I would say something. And now they're like, see, we got him.
This is very true.
Yeah. It's like I said, I take it as a compliment. It's like there's no upsetting me. And I think that this type of, doxing culture and whatever, I think that back in the day, I think that it would get a lot of people upset. I think that there's a lot of people that are like, oh my God, I don't want somebody to come to my house because I don't want them to know where I live because, oh my God, what if and I'm just like, you know what, bitch, here's where I live. I'm like, I don't fucking, there's a gun near me every second of every day. You're not getting the jump on me. When I walk my dog, I talked about this. I talked about this. I've been doing this for years. Okay. So this is not any type of one person that has done this, but I've had situational awareness, and I've done a lot of firearms training. I've done a lot of just training my own brain, my own personality to always be looking around. And that's just the culture of the world today, right? I mean, like Charlie Kirk just got fucking shot for his views,
Yeah.
right? So I saw this the temperature getting turned up by the left so many years ago. And when I started carrying, when I walk my dog, I'm not on my phone, right? When I walk my dog, my phone's in my pocket. I'm looking around. I'm looking at cars. I'm looking around corners. And it's like, you can like call that paranoia, but it's really not. It's just more like, hey, like I want to be completely aware situationally when I'm outside of my place, because it is a crazy world out there. You never know who's gonna show up, and if they're gonna show up, they're not gonna be like, hey, would you like to have a fist fight? No, they're gonna probably try to shoot you because they're cowards. So because of that,
this is even something you need to
Yeah.
think about. But I think this is kind of a really good example of, I'm sure you heard after Charlie Kirk, some people saying, oh, we need to just unite with everyone. And this is why I completely agree with what you're saying about discernment. I don't want to fucking unite with people who dox someone for speaking opinions, because there isn't a huge line to be drawn from there to shooting someone for having
Exactly.
opinions, which
So
is clearly happening now.
yeah, and you know what? I went after Matt Walsh for saying that, because Matt Walsh was like, you know what? I think that we just need to start uniting with the right. If you're on the same side, and I'm like, no, dude, you don't understand. That is the worst thing you can do, right? Because if you're saying, okay, we have some really awful people on our side, but because the left just murdered somebody, right? We're going to unite with them because it's a strength in numbers thing. That's bullshit, because what's going to happen is we're normalizing our own radical behavior in order to fight their radical behavior, and it's a perpetuating, never-ending cycle where it just comes down to who kills the other person first. That's how you start the civil war, and I don't want to yet, right? Like there is going to be a time. I hope not, but I think there will be, and I hope it's not in my lifetime, where we do get to an actual civil war, where we get to in America. And I hope it's not anywhere in the near future. But I think that there will eventually become a time, because I think it's just a natural order of things.
Mm.
But it only happens when we stop talking, right? So when they shoot Charlie Kirk, when they silence that voice, and your reaction is to stop talking, right? You just gave them everything they wanted, right? So if you want to do that, fucking do it. Right? Stop talking, but don't get on your fucking Twitter. All right. Like, Matt, pick up a gun and go. Because I asked this the right after Charlie Kirk, when all these internet tough guys started saying, oh, it's time for the Civil War. It's time for the Civil War. I go, okay, who's first, and how do you do it? Right? Do you lay down on a roof with a sniper rifle? Do you take out AOC? Do you who? Like, because if you're saying that it's time for the Civil War, right? If you're saying that it's time to stop talking and start violence, are you saying that we should go out into the streets, and if we just see somebody that supports, like, Kamala Harris, do we fight them? What are you saying? Because there's no specificity to it, right? The Civil War was fought between states based off of their policies. Okay, like, you're not talking about a civil war. You're talking about anarchy, right? The Civil War, like, like violence, extra. Like, I did a debate with this guy. He called it extra legal political violence. I asked him. I said,
What?
okay, yeah. I was like, so are you saying are you saying assassinations? Are you saying civil war? Are you saying overthrow your government? What are you talking about? Right? So, and he's like, well, violence that's outside of the legal framework, but it's justified morally. And I'm like, well, they think that shooting Charlie Kirk was moral. So you can't moral is a subjective thing, right? If you want to have a civil war, like we had the issue of slavery, and we had the economic policies. Some people were supporting a certain political ideology, and you had states that would convene, and a militia was formed, and then they started fighting each other, and they actually started the war by attacking an actual government building. You want to do that? If you want to stop talking and do that, fine. But what these people are suggesting is they're really suggesting anarchy. They're suggesting the right wing version of BLM, and I'm not going to support that.
I don't know. I think so here I think is the crux of why people hate you so much, and it's funny because for all of the cries of victimhood of the poor Palestinians and the genocide and all this bullshit, they aren't the ones being threatened for speaking.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, so I've been threatened in this chat, I would assume, like fucking a bunch of times. I kept popping back in and out, but it looks like I think that comment was actually from a hater. It's like, get gang stalked, right? They know what they're doing. Gang stalking is what they do to me all the time. It's just a group of people, like, let's say it's that pod guy's like followers. They're probably in a Discord, right? They're in a Discord, just like the guy who killed Charlie Kirk was in a Discord, and they're hyping each other up, and they're amping each other up, and they're getting each other really fucking like really excited, and they're hoping one of them will go and do something just like the Charlie Kirk killers. So when they're doing this, posting my address over and over and over again, right? They're hoping somebody in that Discord comes and shows up and takes me out. That's what they're hoping. And if they pull it off, good for you. You lose, right? I mean, sure, I'll be dead, but you lose, right? It's you're not going to further your cause. You're not going to have anybody take you seriously. You're not going to have anybody listen to you. It's not going to do the thing that you want it to do. You're just going to turn me into a martyr. And then people are going to replay this clip over and over again. They're going to be like, Misfit knew that they were trying to kill him, and he kept fucking talking anyway. Right. And if I ever am taken out, and I'm not comparing myself to Charlie Kirk at all. He was way bigger than me. He was even way better than me. But if it ever does happen, just like with him, I hope somebody else picks up the mic and, picks up where I left off and doesn't go, let's start the Civil War now. Don't avenge me. Just play this clip.
You ain't going nowhere, bitch.
I don't think so.
Letting that happen.
Like I said, in order to kill me, you got to be real fast. Because I mean, I don't know. I'm not doing speaking events. Right? Steven Crowder just went and did Change My Mind again, and I could tell he was wearing a bulletproof vest.
You'd have to be at this point.
Yeah. So it's getting to a point, but I mean, look, the people that are talking in your chat about me, they're not the same people that killed Charlie Kirk. They're not the far left. They're the far right. So political extremism, right? And trying to resort to physical violence against another human being based off of their words is happening on both sides. And I'm just calling it out on both sides. Right. So,
and I would argue, I think that that sort of extremism is the mainstream left at this point. And I think what people like you were trying to do is to make sure that it does not become the mainstream right as well.
That's exactly right. You nailed it, and, I got me and Sean Farish talk about it a lot. And
I love him.
He's been bringing it up, and I've seen, James Lindsay talks about it. We're kind of different. He's more intellectual. I'm more, fucking me. But I've seen it even brought up on MSM networks now, where we're talking about the woke right, and they're really upset about that term because it's an accurate definition, right? I mean, if you think about it, the woke left, what does woke mean, right? Woke is being awake, right, to an oppressor. The left's oppressor is capitalism, white people. It's anything other than, like socialism, and their solution is socialism. The woke right they call themselves noticers, right? It's a synonym for it's a synonym for woke, and they don't even realize it. They're awake to the oppressor, which is Israel, the Jews, globalists. And what is their solution? So the left has socialism, the right has nationalism, ultranationalism. In fact, you have now Marjorie Taylor Greene saying that she's an America-only congressperson. Last time we did that, Hitler killed a lot of fucking people. because America was America only. America didn't want to get involved. When America
I feel
goes,
I feel like that's an extension of too much internet because that's just not possible. That's not the reality we live in.
thankfully, no, but I
Yeah.
mean, that they're trying to break out of the internet. Right now, this is all contained in this tiny little world that we all live in. And trust me, it really is tiny. It's not as big as you think it is.
Mhm.
Everybody thinks I think my buddy who follows politics a little, right? But he doesn't follow politics like a lot. Um, I asked, I was like out at the bar with him and I was like, you know who Nick Fuentes is? He goes, no. And I was like, okay,
Wow.
we're okay then. Right. We're all right.
They're trying to make him known on MSNBC and CNN.
He wants to break out, man, and he's a cult leader. He's not a civil rights leader. He's not a political thought leader. He's just a cult leader, right? And it's the same thing with this this retard pod guy, right? He's just trying to be a cult leader. He's just trying to feel powerful by trying to control somebody else's life, right? He thinks that if he tries to scare me or radicalize somebody to do violence against me or scare me, it's some type of level of control. And this is what ties right back into what we were talking about earlier with how people like Milo and Candace and Tucker and everybody got so crazy. You feel very fucking powerful when you have that much control over a bunch of other people. You mean I can say something and a bunch of people will not research it at all? I could
Yeah.
lie to them. I could tell them the sky is fucking purple, right? And they will just go, yep, it is, right? That's like, it gives you a God complex. And in order to be a responsible political commentator, you have to constantly check yourself, and you have to ask yourself, am I doing the right thing? Am I saying the right thing? Am I telling the truth? And are my followers, more importantly, right? Are they taking what I say and turning it into an excuse to be either mean, hurtful, or worse, violent to another person? Because I don't think you should, right? I don't think you should ever do what I do, right? I think there should only be one me, all right? When I clap back against somebody, if I clap back against Ian Carroll, and I'm like, I'll fuck your mom in front of your dad, I'm just joking, right? But if one of my followers was like, yeah, he lives it, this is his address, right? I would immediately tell my follower, dude, what the fuck? No,
Oh, same.
that's not okay, right? Whereas I think that the last guy that we were talking about, don't even want to say his name anymore. They're
Yeah.
encouraging that behavior. That's where you got to be. You got to make sure that you're wielding the power of your voice for at least not even good, but just responsible.
And don't about this person who's saying before in terms of posting your address and stuff, public figure doesn't count. So what? Even if that were true, so what? Why do you want people to have his address? For what purpose?
Yeah, no, and it counts. You can dox a public figure. That's retarded.
No, of course, but
You can dox. So like the people that doxed the Supreme Court, they were charged for doxing the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is very public. That's a public figure. But doxing is when you display somebody's personal or private or identifying information with malicious intent. And I'm pretty sure that any jury would agree that this is malicious intent, what that guy's doing. I mean, look, you got, like I said, do not come to my house. Do not come to my house, please. But if you come to my house, I'll fucking kill you, right? And I'm not even joking a little bit, right? Because I've seen the crazy that you guys say, and trust me, I am in fear for my fucking life. Where I will put my life above yours. I will believe your retarded friend who said we're going to come to Misfit's house and kill him. So if you show up and you're just like, I was just playing a prank, I'm not. Right? So it's a dangerous and stupid game is what you guys are doing.
yeah,
But
these people
I'm
are
sure they
fucking
think
nuts.
it's hilarious and it's fine.
No, these people are fucking nuts. And I really just want to point out that while everyone cries victimhood about, oh, they're being victimized by the Jews and the poor Palestinians, this is what it takes for somebody
Yeah.
to speak against anti-Semitism.
Exactly. I have to. Well, I mean, yeah. Speaking against anti-Semitism, I would say is probably one of the things that has put my life at the most risk. I called out the deep state on the left. I called out, the rigged 2020 election. I called out the COVID vaccine. I called out this, and this. I never really, really feared for my life until I said, "Hey, stop hating Jews." Like, hey, can you guys knock that off? Right? It wasn't until I said, "Hey, can you guys treat these people like they're human fucking beings?" where people were like, "I'm going to murder you." And that's insane. It's like, it's like, it's the opposite of everything that they say. They say that, the Jews are the ones that are creating all of this death and chaos and everything like that. But then you look at the pro-Palestine supporters, or you look at the anti-Israel people, and they're the most violent and vitriolic people. They're essentially just terrorists. Like, you guys are just terrorists. And I'm not ever going to negotiate with terrorists. I'm not going to be afraid of terrorists. Now, when I said earlier, I fear for my life, that's a legal term, meaning I am going to be afraid that you're going to take my life and I will take yours first. That doesn't mean I'm afraid of you. That doesn't mean I'm going to stop speaking. That just means I'm gonna have a pretty good goddamn argument.
No, and I think this really goes to show why woke right is a very accurate term, because what does the woke left stand for? Identitarianism, collective guilt. All the problems in your life are due to this group. On the left, it's white people. On the woke right, it's Jews. So it's the same bullshit beliefs, just changing the groups.
Exactly. It's a hyperfixation of identitarian politics with a solution of authoritarian policy reform. Right. So that's in a nutshell, that would be like the James Lindsay way to describe it. Right. Because their solution is always an authoritarian, totalitarian type of, overhaul of the current political system. Right. Like, think about, like, what does the woke right want? The woke right wants ultra Christian nationalist society where abortion is completely illegal. They want Handmaid's Tale. Right. And the woke left wants some socialist utopia, right? Neither of these things are good, right? Neither of these things are you can't create a functioning society.
I think what they want is way worse than that, because I mean, there are, me personally, I'm a bit moderate on abortion, but there are a lot of people I know who are very strongly pro-life. But what they want is even worse. They just want an ethno state. They want, you hear the shit. It really does have a lot more in common with socialism.
The funniest part about going after the woke right, based off of their own, like, because I said earlier, I don't really argue with these people a lot, but sometimes I will, and I like to sort of troll them with their own arguments, and I'm like, "What ethnicity are you?" Right, and they're like, "White," and I go, "Okay, what's white?" All right, because, like, if you have to break them down to it, they're like European, and I'm like, "No, that's a nationality." I go, "What's white?" And they're like, "White is they really truly think that white is European. White is Caucasian, right? It's from the Caucasoid group of the four main bodies of race."
I
Now,
too am from the Caucasoid, whatever you said.
yeah, so if you wanted a Caucasoid society, right, then that would be a society
I
from
want a Caucasoid society.
yeah. Then you'd want a society that's from a bunch of different places. I mean, you're talking South Africa. There's Caucasians, okay? So you'd want to make more African Americans, right? And then there's people that are even there's some parts of the Middle East that have Caucasians. Australia was filled with Australoids, another group, but then they had the British, whole fucking, the thing, and that's now sort of mixed. But what I'm saying is these people are so ignorant that they don't even know what they want, right? If you really break it down, they don't have the actual answer of what kind of country they want to live in, right? Because I think what they think they want is Nazi Germany. Right, where it's like they really want, they're like, "Oh, I just want a bunch of Aryans. I just want a bunch of Aryans in America," and I'll be like, "Well, that wouldn't be American, right?"
Yeah.
That, like, I mean, you want the fucking Vikings to come back? We're all mixed with a bunch of other shit, by the way. If you
Do you think that
Nick Fuentes is Mexican, okay? He's brown. He's a brown person.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't
It's
get that. So
funny.
what's behind that? Is it? I don't get it.
His mother is Latino.
Does he just not like her,
or father? I don't know. Maybe I haven't done a
he
deep
seems
dive.
like a mama's boy?
I haven't seen his ancestry .com, but I'm pretty sure
Has
that
he seen it?
I'm pretty sure that his last name kind of negates the white race thing argument. And that's what I'm saying is this is like a Dave Chappelle skit. It's like Clayton Bigsby. You have
Yeah.
Myron Gaines is a black Sudanese white nationalist. And it's like it's literally a Dave Chappelle skit. So these people don't even know what they want. They don't know what they're saying. There's no consistency. There's no education behind their arguments. It's literally just a bunch of people going like groupthink, white nationalists. We're white nationalists. And then it's like, okay, but how many black people are in the Groypers? How many Mexican people are in the Groypers? How many like do you not see the but do you not see the like it's like straight up neo-Nazis. Like I'm talking like there's really not a lot of them. I think there's like 6,000 in America, like in various nationalist groups. Such a small problem. It's really a small problem. But those people are like they trace their bloodline and their lineage back to like Aryan pure white race. They only sleep with white people. They will only reproduce with other white people. They are Aryan race white nationalists. What's happening online, these groypers and these like woke right, like pro white nationalists, they're cosplaying. They're just stupid. I mean, there's no validity to their argument, which is why most of the time I just call them retarded.
This is why I love Duke. This is basically my point of view. Can't we all just come together and be homophobic? Can't we all just agree on that?
Absolutely. I'm terrified of gay people. Like, I mean, if one of them, if a gay person broke into my house and started shaking his dick at me, I would be way more scared.
I mean,
Way more
afraid.
I'd be way more afraid than if it was some groyper, right? I'd be like, all right, I can deal with that. If I lose,
the thing is, how do you? People seem very brainwashed on this issue. Even people that I've known for years and stuff will just come out with things like, "Oh yeah, that's why the Jews are running everything" and shit like that, and come out with things that they're suddenly Palestine lovers, and I don't get it. Talk about the genocide, the imaginary genocide. So
yeah,
how do you think what is the best way to wake people up from this?
I mean, okay. So what I've been doing, I'm not saying that my way is the best way, but I'm just answering your question as a direct answer because that's what people fail to do, right? There is an action. This might not be the best way. This is one way to do it though, right? In order to tame it, first you have to name it, right? So we've done that. Woke right. Then you need to start calling out the woke right. But you need to properly identify the woke right. You can't start calling Megyn Kelly woke right when she's not woke right.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that you're really going like, okay, the groypers are the Antifa of the right. Okay, so that's you need name that.
They're like an even more limp-wristed Antifa.
Yeah. And the reason why you do this is it's a separation tactic, right? You want to make sure that you get it out to as many people as possible that this group is not in our group. They just voted for the same guy our group voted for. So, because what happened
in some cases, not even because let's not forget that Nick Fuentes wanted Trump to lose.
Correct.
They try to sweep that shit under the rug.
Exactly. In many cases, you're absolutely right. But what I'm saying is, when you make it a big tent, like let's just call it the right wing, I guess you could say right wing. You don't want to grow the tent and just say anybody, like Matt Walsh, anybody on the right can come in the tent. No, because you're filling the tent with a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Right. And then we're going to have a big old shitty tent. Tent's going to be big. It's going to be huge. It's going to be a fucking massive tent. Look how that worked out for the Democrats, right? Yeah. They had more votes. They had more donors. They had more money. They had more. They had more shit, right? And then people
collapsed on itself.
And then exactly, the house of cards will fall. So to start off with, right? Keep identifying, right? Keep calling out, right? And then I think that the other real way to do it is just to keep talking, like just keep on making sure that you're using your voice to talk about the issues that actually do matter, because I think that the war in Israel and the thing against the Jews, I think its half-life has already passed. I think
You think?
I think people are getting tired of it. I think so. And because I talk to people in the real world, right? These people don't. These people live on the internet. When I talk to people
Yeah.
in the real world, like I'll talk to cab drivers about it, like, or my Uber driver. Like I'll be like, what's up with all that Jew hate going on? And they're like, I know it's ridiculous, right? People don't think that way. The majority of people. And I did like a little breakdown of how many people really are like this radicalized, like, and it was just it's not nothing scientific about this. This isn't, don't take this as gospel. But if you look at the statistics of how many users are online on X, right, it's like 25% of the US population, they say, right? How many of those accounts are duplicate accounts? How many of those accounts are bots? How many accounts of those are, anons, sock?
It's so manipulated.
So manipulated, right? So
My
let's
entire inbox is like fucking pussy and bio bitches.
okay. So based off of the official numbers, you have around 25%. Let's say 10% of that is garbage, right? So you have 15%. Now, out of that 15%, you got half the country voting one way, half the country voting another way. So you have, let's say, just cut that right in half, right? So I'm talking right wing. You have about, let's say, 7 million right now is the number we're at. Or sorry, 7%, not 7 million. 7% is the number we're at. Now, out of that 7%, the vast majority of people are moderates. They're more right leaning. They're not far right. I would say that maybe 10% of that number would be the actual far right graper, movement. So really, what we're looking at is like fucking like a 1 to 3% maybe of the United States population that is in this little group of social media addicted, conspiracy culture, woke right, blah blah blah. Now that's still like 300,000 people. That's a lot, but it's not that much if you think about it, right? In the grand scheme of things, could be even 30,000. I mean, I might have the math wrong, but I'm just using
No,
this as
point.
I'm just using this as an example to point out what you think might be millions is probably thousands, right? And that's the whole purpose of that exercise. It's not to give you accurate numbers. It's just what you think is millions is most likely thousands, and thousands can do a lot of damage. So we still need to take it seriously, but it's not the majority of people. If you want to know what real people think, go out into the real world and ask them.
So you don't think that people who listen to that they're having sway over? I don't know where the sway is coming, because in my real life, it does seem like a lot of people are subscribing to the Hamas ideology at this point. Like, I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day who's a diehard Christian, and he starts talking about, the genocide and the Jews. I'm like, do you know what the Muzzies would do to you? Do you know how they feel about Christians? It's great. I mean, look at Europe, what mass migration from Islamic nations has caused them. I mean, are they having are they needing to implement knife control because of the Jews?
The problem is that's groupthink, right? So that's, your buddy doesn't even know the shit that he's talking about, right?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is somebody has an opinion on something, right? But you're equating that they're educated on that opinion, and they're not. So those people can be summarily dismissed. I'm not saying that we shouldn't take it seriously, that the genocide talking point is doing a lot of the same things as the racist talking point that the left used, right? Was it really effective? Did people really think we were racists, or were people just saying racist?
They pretended to for a while.
Yeah, so it's and I mean, so look, a couple of my friends, a few of my friends actually are on the left, and we've talked about this before, right? And this was, prior to the October 7th and the new psyop. I was like, why are you friends with me? Like, wait, I am a Trump voting conservative racist, right? Like, and they're like, yeah, but you're not racist. And I go, no fucking shit. Right? It's like you're delivering this information to them the first time, because then when they act, because I think that either subconsciously or even maybe intention. Maybe they really do know that what they're saying is actual bullshit. But what I'm saying is it can be summarily dismissed because they don't even believe what they're saying because they don't know what they're saying.
Mhm.
But I don't know, man. The more complicated answer to your question is we got to educate people, and
Yeah.
it's a big fucking hill. It's a big fucking hill to climb, especially with all of the Candaces out there. You know, all of the Candaces and all of the Nick Fuenteses. They're not making it easy, but you know, doesn't mean you don't try.
I think maybe part of why we're seeing more of it now too is that, for years there was such tight control and so much censorship on social media
Yeah,
that maybe now it's just more out in the open than it was, which I think it should be. Like if these things exist, I think censorship is never the answer. We should be aware of it. So maybe
yeah.
it's come to the surface more.
Well, I think top-down leadership also plays a huge role. I think that people take more, whether you agree with this or not, it's just a fact. People, regular people, normal people, not the people online, they listen to the politicians. They listen to Trump, right? And they listen to mainstream media.
Mhm.
And it's like if you're in the, and I'm not talking about just boomers, I'm talking about 30 plus, because I would say that more Gen Z is probably getting more of their information online, but a lot of people still get their information from just news headlines, or like if they are on social media, they're on social media in passing. They're not spending 8 hours a day on there. They're taking care of their kids. They're going to soccer practice. They're going
Yeah.
to the grocery store. They're going on dates with their wives. They're not like you, right? Like they're not living in this fucking false reality of social media. So those people, they're getting their information from headlines and news. So if it's a top down thing, so as long as, like I would say, as long as fucking Donald Trump isn't like, the fucking Jews, I think we're doing okay.
No, I think a lot
Um,
of these people hate him because he's pretty pro-Israel.
Yeah. Well, he's not even, he's just like he's just like most regular people, where
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, Israel's an ally, you know, eh, you know. It's like, and that's how most people do view it. I think that,
That's basically how I view it.
yeah, I think that what we need to do is, just keep on trying to get the message out there, and it's a never ending battle. I realized this pretty recently over the last couple of years, right? Because when I used to do social media and talking about politics, I go, all right, I'm fighting this battle against like the left that's like trying to stop. I'm trying to stop this one thing, and then I'm going to be able to talk about normal things. I'll be able to maybe post about cat videos or some shit. Doesn't matter, right? Like, nope, nope. As soon as one thing ends, there's a new thing, right? It's a never-ending battle because there's always going to be some type of George Soros type trying to drop the latest psyop on the youth of America, because America is the top swinging. They're the big swinging dick. They're the one that you got to
Yeah.
knock off the pedestal. And there's always going to be somebody doing it. So our job is to literally wake up every day and fight, and just keep fighting. And sounds like fun, right? Can't fucking wait to do this until I die.
Oh, I know. I'm so over politics. I'm
Well,
so over politics. I want
if
to
you,
never talk about politics again.
I want to never talk about it, but I'm gonna keep talking about it because I actually
Same.
do. I believe in what I'm saying. I believe that
Yeah.
the free marketplace of ideas. I think that Charlie Kirk was one of the most dangerous people to this whole fucking system, and that's why they killed him. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that it was like a hit. I'm not saying that at all.
No.
I'm saying that he was the number one target because of the radicalization against people like Charlie Kirk. So, in summary, my answer would be try to be the next Charlie Kirk. Right? That's how you win. Try to be the next
It
Charlie
almost
Kirk.
it almost makes me wonder if what's happening now is sort of an extension of, years ago when everyone was getting banned from social media. For me, when I started speaking up, I became one of the most banned people for nothing. Banned from Twitter, banned from everything. But at the time, David Duke was still on Twitter and all of these extremists were still on Twitter. And I
Yeah.
always felt like that was deliberate. And I feel like this is sort of a worse evolution of that taking down Charlie Kirk There are
Yeah,
people who think they're going to fill the vacuum with Nick Fuentes or even worse people.
We can't go down the road of trying to get rid of Nick Fuentes and get rid of Alex Jones and get rid of Candace Owens. We can't do that, right? And that's tricky because it seems like that would solve a lot of fucking problems, but that's what the left thought. And they had this issue in Weimar, Germany, in right around the time that Hitler was sort of rising to power, when he was getting a lot of popularity. There was a massive censorship campaign against him, and a lot of people. It was in Weimar where they were, throwing people in jail for associating with Nazis. They were getting all the publications taken down of anything that he was saying. And what it had was a lot of people, a lot of historians will agree, it had the opposite effect, where people were like, well, they wouldn't be trying to take him down if he wasn't saying good stuff. So taking people down and trying to cancel people, it's always going to have the opposite effect. Your voice just needs to be louder, and your voice needs to be, you need to be telling the truth, because a lot of people know when they're being lied to, right? Some people don't, but most people do. Most people know that Nick Fuentes is full of shit. Almost everybody now knows that Candace is full of shit. So let them talk. Let them, just like Icarus, let them fly as close to the fucking sun as possible. And trust me, their wings will melt and they will fall to the earth.
And that's where I take issue with a lot of these Jewish groups that want to censor anyone who says anything about Israel. I'm like, you
like the ADL
are creating more anti-Semitism. You're making me want to become anti-Semitic. Like,
and
Jews need better marketing.
That's something that Charlie Kirk brought up. It's something that I've brought up. I've said fuck the ADL. I've said fuck APAC. I think that organizations that are maybe have the best intentions. You might have the best intentions, right? But the road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? If you think that silencing people for hating Jews is going to make people like Jews, I have another Weimar, right? Just always go back to Weimar, where it's like, it does not work. It will never
also
work.
If Jews really controlled the world, they would have much better marketing than they have. Like, they need a publicist or something.
I know. Yeah, they're doing such a good job of controlling the world that everyone hates them. Great job.
Right?
Yeah,
well, I want to ask you, how the hell do you unplug for this? For anyone watching who's online a lot and trying to get away, like, how do you disconnect from? Would you have not to make you feel bad, but you have it worse than anyone I've seen in quite a while. Like, how do you unplug from this shit?
I'm telling you, a job helps. That helps a lot. Go get a job. If you guys are online too much, try that. No. So I turned my phone off. There's a do not disturb feature on the iPhone, and that has become my best friend. I literally just hit do not disturb. One thing I do, these are actually really good things that I've been doing for years. I do not have any notifications for any social media that come on my phone, right? So all of my notifications are turned off. The only time I see my notifications is if I open the app and go look at my notifications. Because if your phone is constantly telling you this person commented, you're gonna open the app. So that's always been off. But what I've been doing recently, I would say the past 6 months or so, is I've just been sort of committing to it and doing it. I've been 24 hours. No social media for 24 hours. And then I'm going to tell you guys something. If you haven't tried this, it becomes addicting, right? Being off of social media becomes just as addicting as being on social media. Because if you do 24 hours enough times, you're going to do 48 hours, right? And if you do 48 hours, you might try 72 hours. And if you try 72 hours and then try to jump back on social media, you are going to open social media and go, nope. Nah, I'm good, right? So, look, the past few days. So,
I really think this is something everyone needs to do once in a while.
I posted about this thing today. So, my post before today, my post was 2 days ago, and it was I said, "Me and your mom are on a date." Just me trolling people. I only made 2 posts on that day. The day before that, I only made 3 posts. And the day before, but you know what? I also go on social media. Like, I'll be like heavy into social media for a day or 2 or 3 days or 4 days or a week, right? But what I'm saying is, I look at social media like a substance, right? I look at it like alcohol. where I'm like, if I was drinking every day, I would have a problem, right? So treat it like a substance where it's like, okay, if I'm drinking every day, that's a problem. But if I have a glass of wine every night at dinner, that's not a problem. So social media, just like everything else, in moderation is perfectly fine. Try to start looking at it like that. Look at it like it's a substance that you use to either have, like, maybe a little hit of dopamine or get your information or a guilty pleasure or what have you. But if you look at your screen time and your screen time is consistently over 6 hours for every day, you are wasting your life in a fake reality. You are not living in the real world. So do the real world shit. And trust me, your life's going to be infinitely better. One thing that Charlie Kirk said to do was to do the Shabbat, Friday night to Saturday night. And what he would do, I haven't gone this far yet. He would put his phone in a drawer and not look at the phone at all. No technology at all.
I wish I had that willpower.
That's some serious willpower. I cannot see when I do no social media. I play a video game on my phone sometimes.
Same.
Yeah. So that's when I'm not on social media. That's my binky, because I'm still getting something. I'm still getting something. Yep. I played Marvel Contest of Champions. I fight with fake characters. It's fun. Anyway.
Oh, my buddy is really into that game.
Oh, dude,
I'm a basic bitch. I do Fortnite.
I'm obsessed. Yeah, man. This is a good talk. I think you want to wrap it up.
Yes, totally. I was just gonna say. So, what have you got coming up?
Right now, not much. I was just on Newsmax today. That already aired. I got something coming up on my calendar. I don't know, some interview. I'm just, you know what? Just look for me on my social media. It's Rumble TMP Uncensored is the channel. I try to do Tuesdays through Thursdays. I've been missing the past couple of Tuesdays because I've been doing no social media. Smart,
you're better off for it.
And then Wednesday night. So tomorrow I should do a double. I'll do the show in the morning, and I do a show with Sean Farish on Wednesday nights called The Weekly Breakdown.
I love Sean.
Yeah. So just go to my go to any of my social medias, the Misfit Patriot on X, and there's a Beacons link, and all the links are there for all of my stuff.
Yes, and his link for I gotta add Rumble and that to it, but his other links are below, as are mine. Follow this great dude. Fuck these other bitches. The bitches are bitching once again. Fuck the bitches.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've been saying this for years, man. If I wasn't doing something right, they wouldn't be that upset. So
that's very true. That is very true.
There are people that are extremely upset at what I say, right? And if you're getting that type of reaction out of people, it's not your personality. They are upset at what you are saying. So I'm just gonna keep saying it.
You better. You're killing it, dude.
All right.
Thank you so much for coming on. This was amazing. No problem. And thank you, chat friends, for hanging out.
Yes, thank you.
You should put that on a shirt.
Thank you for all of the people in the chat who did not dox me.
I'm sorry about that. I need more mods.
No. It would have happened no matter what. Those people are crazy.
They're fucking insane. Well, thank you, chat friends, also for being here. I'll be back next week. I'm going on a little adventure this weekend. I'm going to be off the grid, but then after that, I'll be back. And yeah, follow his stuff, follow my stuff. Love you guys. Bye.
All right, have fun. Talk to you later.